Welcome to Football with Cheese. So in this video, we're going to talk about the Tennessee Titans offseason as we're doing the AFC South now. So if you're not subscribed, please do so now. Enable alerts so you never miss a video. If you did not know, the Tennessee Titans went 3-14, the worst record in the NFL, so they picked first in the draft. They really were the worst team in the NFL because their division was weak. It's not like the other three teams made the playoffs. Like, if you're the Raiders, real tough division. The other three teams made the playoffs. Same thing with the Bears. The Titans weren't in one of those divisions. Only the Texans made the playoffs. So they were bad. But here's the good news. It's looking up. They have upgraded quarterback. So Will Levis was a second-round pick a few years ago. He's just not a starting quarterback in the NFL. He's got talent. He's got an arm. He turns the ball over like crazy. He is a turnover machine. He doesn't read defenses well, makes a lot of mistakes. He's just not the guy. So we'll talk about Cam Ward, who they drafted first in a second. And the offensive line was horrible. Maybe the worst offensive line in the NFL. The Texans and the Patriots might have something to say about that, but among the worst. And that didn't help anything. But they did get better there. We'll go over that in a second. The defense was pretty bad as well. The interior of the defensive line is good, but they're not really strong anywhere else. Safeties are okay. In free agency, they did add Kevin Zeitler, the guard. He's in his mid-30s now, but he's been a good player for years. Played well for the Lions last year, just not showing his age. And they signed Tyler Lockett, who was released by Seattle. Used to be a good receiver. Now he's just not what he used to be. He's decent. But I think they made those signings to bring leadership. If you're a rebuilding team like the Titans, why would you sign guys in their 30s? It's about leadership. They know they're not going to compete for a Super Bowl next year, at least a year away from that, maybe further. But why not sign great locker room guys and fill positions in need? So they signed Zeitler to play right guard. Tyler Lockett will very likely start at wide receiver. And they signed Dan Moore to play left tackle and gave him over $20 million a year. Wow. Dan Moore's just not very good. He's average at best left tackle, gives up a lot of sacks. If he's not playing the Browns, maybe slightly above average, but Myles Garrett destroys him. He cannot block the real elite edge rushers at all. They got help with Zeitler at guard. And the good news is they can move J.C. Latham, who played left tackle. They can move him over to right tackle. He was their first-round pick last year, and he's just more of a right tackle. That's a natural fit for him. So the offensive line, by default, is going to be better. Good news for free agency. They didn't lose much because they didn't have much. They didn't lose much at all. They lost Harold Landry, but he wasn't doing very well anyway, and he was hurt a lot. So I don't think the Titans could possibly be any worse. But I guess you never know. Let's talk about the draft. Cam Ward, first overall pick. I wasn't as high on him as some people, but he is by far the best quarterback in this draft, and he has upside to be very good. I think there's too many turnover-worthy plays. I think he's more of a project than people think, even though he started, I think, 5 years. So he could struggle as a rookie because he doesn't have a lot of talent around him, but I understand why they made that pick. If you don't draft him and he goes second overall and becomes an all-pro, then you're the GM, you're fired. Just take the quarterback with the arm strength, the athleticism, and hope it works out. You pretty much have to do that in today's NFL. You have to have a quarterback. In the second round, they traded back. I like that move. They needed more picks. They did not have a third-round pick in the Ladarius Sneed trade. More on that in a second. And they drafted Olufemi Oladejo in the second round and Kevin Winston Jr. in the third round. Got that pick in the trade back. I love those picks. Good value. They needed an edge rusher. They could use an upgraded safety. And in the late fourth round, they drafted Alec Ayomaner, wide receiver, Stanford. They needed wide receiver help. I thought he could go at least a round earlier than that, so that was a really good pick. Undrafted free agents, I'm going to mention two of them. Xavier Restrepo, wide receiver from Miami, played with Cam Ward. He's built like a running back, not a receiver, undersized, and he had a horrible workout, ran a 4.8. That's why he wasn't drafted. But I love his film. He's such a smart player. He finds a hole in the zone. He comes back and helps his quarterback when a play breaks down. He would be such a good fit in that old New England offense. Had Wes Welker and Julian Edelman as a slot only. I don't know if the Titans are going to run something similar. If they are, he could start. If not, he could be out of the league right away because he's just not a great athlete. But undrafted, absolutely. Sign him. Half the league probably called him, probably 2/3 of the league because he is such a smart player. And Cam Horsley, defensive tackle for Boston College, very surprised he was not drafted. I thought he'd go 5th or 6th round. Very good run defender. He's got good size. He's got pass rush upside too. So both those guys should have been selected late in the draft. Important players, Jeffrey Simmons, defensive tackle. He's been one of the best interior defensive linemen since he came into the league. Tivondre Sweat had a really good year. He's their nose tackle, was a 2nd-round pick last year. Sebastian Joseph Day, another defensive tackle, is a good player. That's their strength of their team. Their corners aren't good. Their edge rushers are bad. Safeties are okay. Linebackers aren't so hot. Just not a great roster overall, but it's getting better. And the other important player I'm going to mention is Calvin Ridley, wide receiver, veteran. He's a good receiver. He's not a great receiver. He works better to me as the number 2 guy, but he's the number 1 for the Titans just by default because they just don't have anyone else. So not a whole lot of important players. Questionable aspects of the team, we kind of mentioned him. Offensive line, Peter Skoronski, their left guard, just has not worked out. He was a top 15 pick. He's okay. He's an average player, just not what they thought they were getting. And Ladarius Sneed, I mentioned him earlier. They traded a 3rd-round pick and paid him. He used to be on the Chiefs. And he was injury-plagued, and when he did play, he was terrible. You have to wonder if he got paid and he just kind of checked out. He's just going through the motions. He went from winning the Super Bowl to the worst team in the NFL. But giving up draft capital and paying him for a player that did terrible, they're just going to have to hope he bounces back because the rest of the cornerback room is not good. Breakout player, I mentioned him earlier, J.C. Latham, the offensive tackle. He's moving to the right side. That's where he played at Alabama. That's his natural spot. He was the 7th overall pick last year. That was a big reach to me, especially someone like Brock Bowers on the board. Ola Fashanu was on the board. He's a better offensive lineman prospect, so just surprised they took him, but he should be a good player on the right side, at least above average, maybe even Pro Bowl right tackle. He has that kind of upside. So comment down below. What do you think of the Titans? Can they double their win total to 6? If you have not subscribed, please do so now. Hit that bell for notifications so you never miss one of my videos. If you enjoy this, please give a like. It really helps out the channel. Share this with anyone who loves football as we continue to grow football with cheese. Check these videos out if you have not, and I will see you in the next one.